Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1998's Snake Eyes. If you want to follow the show, you can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Kiss the Reviews. And before we get started, I got to get into a couple of announcements. Well, just one announcement, really. So we here at Kiss the Reviews, we're moving up in the world. And we are going to be launching our new Patreon channel. That's going to be in April. So if you guys are interested in joining the Patreon followers, you can go to Patreon, look for Kiss the Reviews, and we'll be starting that up in April.
Yes, and the YouTube show will still be here.
Yes.
We will still have a YouTube channel. You will still have your normal free content that you're used to. But here's the thing. We live in a capitalist society.
Yes,
and in a capitalist society, in order to survive, you need this thing called money. YouTube, because we speak to you like we're fucking adults, does not want to give us any money because they want us to talk to you like your little baby children and can't handle big person words. So because we refuse to do that, YouTube has limited about 99% of our videos, which means we ain't making a fucking dime off this.
Is it possible this story is true? Yes, it is.
What I suggest everyone do, like immediately, is stop making PayPal requests. We've got you caught up. We're good to go. We are going to complete anything that is outstanding. That being said, you can save yourself a considerable amount of money by just joining us on Patreon. It is really that easy. And I don't know exactly what all our tiers are going to be, but I can tell you this. It's way cheaper over there than it is at PayPal, and all the requests you can make will be free.
Yes, absolutely. And like Corey said, we're still going to have a show. We'll still be doing the show on YouTube. It'll be just like YouTube has limited our ad monetization. We will limit YouTube's show. So it'll be just a truncated version of the full show that we'll put onto Patreon. And we'll have on Patreon, we'll have all the clips, we'll have all the extended versions and all that stuff. So and we'll have all the tiers set up so you can go to Patreon and it'll just be under Kiss the Reviews. So once that is set up, we will launch in April and you'll be able to sign up, give your requests, and we can have a party at Patreon.
Yeah, if y'all think we're wilding out right now,
wait till we get behind a paywall.
Wait till we get Corey's dick cam on up and running.
I need to afford more jerseys. That's what I need to do. Right. Okay. PayPal has only given me a few bucks. So and I gotta split. I gotta split with that guy. So
and I need to afford to be able to buy a bigger dick if I'm gonna be putting it on camera.
You're gonna get the pump one? All right. Well, with all of that said, let's get into the cast of 1998 Snake Eyes. This film stars Nicolas Cage as Rick Santoro, Gary Sinise as Commander Kevin Dunne, John Hurd as Gilbert Powell, and Carla Gugino as Julia Costello.
This is honestly one of my favorite Nicolas Cage movies.
Listen. I'm gonna set this up like you set up New Jack City. Okay.
Okay.
I love this movie. I saw it in theaters. I loved it when it came out. This gave me a boner for Nicolas Cage back in the day. I still love it to this day. With that being said, I also understand how ridiculous this movie is.
I don't understand what you mean.
Well, if you don't understand, we could just get into it and I can point out all the ridiculousness if you'd like.
I just think I'm going to cancel the whole Patreon thing. I'm done with this show.
This is such a crock of shit.
Yeah, no, this movie's complete bullshit, but it's awesome.
It is awesome. This is the epitome of 90s movies. Like, this is, you can have a ridiculous like, I actually like the premise. The guy gets shot, you know, he's a whatever member of Congress or DOD or whatever the hell, and you could set this whole thing up, but the hijinks that we get into is literally all 90s. And
Oh yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, I'd even take it a step further. This is 1990s Nicolas Cage at the height of his, like, I can do whatever the fuck I want on camera. You can't stop me, director.
Yeah!
It's Ricky.
Well, let's get into this one, man. So the movie opens at a pay-per-view boxing match, and we see Ricky Santoro. He's a corrupt Atlantic City detective. He's talking and screaming at everyone in the arena. And this is like kind of setting up who he is, and he's this piece of shit. And apparently he loves cocaine, because this dude is amped up, and it's not just on Red Bull.
Go Tyler! Go Tyler! Go Tyler! Go! Go Tyler! Go Tyler! Go Tyler! Wow! Lincoln!
I want to go to a party with this dude and Al Pacino's character from Heat.
Absolutely.
That would just talk about being above the law. Just two coke snorting fucking cops running around town doing crazy shit. That would be the night of my life.
Yes. No, that sounds like a blast, and it also sounds like my heart would explode out of my chest by 2 a.m.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'd be good right until the time Mark Furman joined us, because it just seems like that would be a Mark Furman party too. And that's when I'd be like, I'm out. I'm not framing black people today. I'm out.
But
I was
so
just here for the book of sugar.
that's all I wanted.
That's it.
So, but he meets up here with his best friend, Kevin Dunne, who's a U.S. Navy commander. He's working with the DOD to escort Defense Secretary Charles Kirkland and Gilbert Powell at the fight. And he's basically working their security detail.
Gary Sinise has always struck me as one of those guys. Like, he's really intense in all his movies. And I kind of feel like he would be like that in real life. Like, even when he's laughing at a joke, he seems like he's maybe going to kill you at the same time. You know what I mean?
He does.
Like, that intensity in his eyes does not change. Ever.
You're at the craft services table, and he's just like, "You ready for the next scene?"
How's the mac and cheese today, Armando? Like, fucking, it's good.
It's
dude.
good. Add some pepper and we'll be fine. But like,
right?
Also take 2 full steps back.
Please.
This fight starts. The first round begins, and Dunn is distracted by an attractive redhead, and he leaves his seat, which is then taken by a woman, Julia. She's talking to the defense secretary. Tyler, the fighter, is unexpectedly knocked out by Ruiz here, and Kirkland is shot and killed, and Julia also takes a shot to the arm. Santoro dives and saves her, and chaos ensues here. And this is where Santoro sees that Tyler wasn't knocked out, which is one of my favorite scenes, just because he does the whole like, oh shit, like gunshots, and then they make eye contact. He's like, I mean, I'm totally knocked out.
He basically said my neck and my back.
What I hate here, though, if you're gonna have a heavyweight boxing match, when you're casting for heavyweight boxers, can we stop with the guys who used to be jacked, but now they got like man tits, and their trunks are literally right? They got like fucking the nipple belt on. Their trunks are hiked up so high, and I know boxers do that above their belly button, not to their nipples because they're fat. That annoys the shit out of me in movies.
All I know is Tyler, got knocked fuck out.
I'm knocking somebody the fuck out.
He will always be that character to me, no matter what.
Always.
And for that
Always.
reason, he is always the champ.
Hell yes.
And Nicolas Cage's interactions with him are one of those things where when we say like full Nicolas Cage,
Yeah.
because they're so over the top and it's so extreme.
Yep.
But then if you actually think like, oh, they went to high school right around the same time. Same high school, same time. I'd kind of be like that too if I'm just fucking junky, nobody, dirty cop and I see the fucking heavyweight champion.
Woo! Neptune high, right? Check it out right here. Go Sea Devils. You and me, Tyler.
Corey's life lessons.
Hi, kids. Uncle Corey here. Everybody gets a class ring. Totally fine. I don't know. When you're 19, take it the fuck off. Who wears that shit? Just say, I peaked in high school. Just tell people that. You don't have to wear a ring to show it to them. It's fine, dude. And we're all very proud of your illustrious high school career. Also, it means fuck all. Shut the fuck up about high school and quit wearing your high school ring when you're a 40-year-old man.
Also, when you take that high school ring off and put it in like your jewelry box or whatever, you might want to take the tassel from your high school graduation off your rearview mirror as well. Just throwing that one out there too.
Still driving the same fucking car you did too.
You like my fucking 1994 Camaro? Guy, you're 50. It's falling apart. Okay.
Yeah, like grow the fuck up, friend.
Remove the tassel and the little garter that you took from your prom date from back in the day. Like, take that off your rearview mirror.
Dude, I feel so bad for people that are our age and are like, man, back in high school, something else should have happened in your life between then and now.
If you keep mentioning, if your sentence structure starts off with back in high school, you should either be like the singer and writer of emo songs or just out of high school, like literally like 19. If you're 40 years old and you're still starting sentences off like that, just go take a vacation and experience some new things. Dunne here then kills the sniper that shot Kirkland, and Santoro orders the arena be locked down. Julia, the mysterious woman, escapes into the casino. She's covered in blood. She goes to the bathroom, covers her wound, and disguises herself as like a hooker. She's running through the goddamn arena covered in blood. Not a single person stops her.
Nobody stops her. And for a 26-year-old numbers analyst to be able to get shot in the arm, have all this happen, the defense secretary assassinated right in front of her, her glasses are broke, and she still has the presence of mind to go into a bathroom, calmly clean up her wound, clean herself up, get that jacket, be able to then disguise herself and start wandering around the casino.
Yeah. Well, also,
this bitch should be working for the goddamn CIA. This is crazy.
The whole Velma of it all, like, I lost my glasses, I can't see nothing. Like that, even back then, I was kind of like, come on, man. Can we not with this piece of the storyline? Like, she can't recognize. You could just I don't even know why they added this piece, but whatever. The other interesting thing here is I think they say it, there's like 19,000 people in the arena.
Mm-hmm.
They're all like, they're scattering. They're all trying to get out. She's the only one in the bathroom. Something tells me there'd be more than one lady in the ladies' room in one of these active shooter situations. But
you would think.
Whatever. And nobody was in there to go like, hey, why are you covered in blood?
I would be in there. I would be in any bathroom I could find just to clean the shit off of myself. Because if I see somebody assassinated, even if I'm 20,000 people away from them, I'm still probably going to shit myself. It's just,
Yes.
I don't do good in those situations. I'm out.
Me neither.
I'm an athlete. Get me the fuck out of here.
Absolutely. So after studying the fight tape, Santoro realizes the knockout punch didn't connect. It's a phantom punch. Tyler took a dive. So he goes to see Tyler. Tyler confesses that he threw the fight in order to pay off gambling debts that he had. He said he was paid to take the dive by Serena, the woman in the red dress, the redhead who tricked Dunne into leaving his post. And so now Santoro, he suspects this like conspiracy and reveals everything he found out to Dunne. Dunne confesses that the trip to Norfolk, this is where we get like the whole exposition dump. Like the trip to Norfolk was the test, was a weapons test and yada yada. So now we get a little bit more information as to why dude was shot.
That trip to Norfolk was for a weapons test.
It's a really stupid plot.
Yes.
Let's just say that. Because this isn't what happens in real life. What happens in real life is they take the money, being the defense contractors, and they go, oopsie, it didn't work. More money, please. And then we go, okay, here's some more money. That's how it works.
Yes.
That's what defense spending is. It doesn't go to fucking troops. Get the fuck out of here. Are you crazy? It goes to the shit you see flying over Area 51 that looks like a UFO. That's where your money's going. It ain't going to the fucking troops. You know who gets money? Who gives money to the troops? Gary Sinise and the Lieutenant Dan Jam Band or whatever the fuck they're called. They're the only person that gives a shit about the fucking troops.
Absolutely.
So this whole, like the whole setup, like I get it. You got to have something. It plays, especially when this was coming out. We were coming out of the Gulf War. Shit was getting kind of loose all around the world, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, I get it. But also, this just wasn't it.
Back then, you didn't need to have, like, the tightest storyline when it came to anything military. You know what I mean? Like, whether it's this or I'm just trying to think of a couple like Broken Arrow or, any of those types of movies. It's like, well, you don't have to have the tightest of storylines. You can kind of give like this like military things and then everybody just went, cool, I'm bought in. Let's fucking go for the ride.
And trust me, I totally get the irony of the guy who wrote Back to the Hunt. Judging people on the tightness of their military accuracy, because mine that ain't there either. I'm just saying.
It's all good. It's all good. Listen, you were influenced by all these movies in the 90s. You're gonna tighten your shit up too? It's for the fucking birds. So
yeah, screw you, bro. I'm not Tom Clancy.
Yeah. So now you have Dunne and Santoro, and they're like, oh, you go find this person and I'll go find these people. So Dunne finds the redhead and the bring the pain guy, and he finds them in the basement. We see that Dunne was in on the assassination. He talks to them, then he kills them both. And then this is where Julia, after pretending to be a hooker, she takes a guy up to his room. And Dunne and Santoro both see her on like camera or whatever. They give chase. And then Santoro finally tracks Julia down, takes her into the stairwell to question her. And this is literally one of my favorite scenes because she confesses that, she's the analyst who worked on the weapons test and yada, yada, a little bit more exposition. And he doesn't want to believe her because Sinise is like his best friend.
Yep.
And he goes into this like the spiral that you would normally go through in your head. He just throws it up on her.
I have to do something I don't want to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? I do not want to do this!
And he's like, it can't be true. And he's a good guy. And then he's just like, I mean, I guess you're right.
Well, This really is, you're right, this is one of the best scenes. And before I get into that, I have to mention that Carla Gugino picking up Peter Griffin in the fucking casino lobby is also it's so funny.
Excuse me.
Because he fully thinks she's a hooker. She's pretending to be a hooker because she needs to get up to his room just to hide out for a little bit.
Yeah.
Until she can formulate a plan. And so when she comes out of the bathroom, he like wants to start kissing her. And she's like, no, like, I just need to sit down. So she sits down. He goes, oh, okay. And starts unbuttoning his pants. And the second she's like, get the fuck out, like, this isn't happening. All he does, like, I'm a happily married man, lady. You need to get out of here. And he finds Gary Sinise in the hallway, complains to him. He's like, I'm writing a letter home to my lovely wife. And this woman just barges in. It's so great.
It's so good.
And is pretty standard, I think, Vegas behavior.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially if you're Peter Griffin and goddamn Carla Gugino comes up to you and is like, hey, you want to go upstairs?
Come on. Come on.
The scene in the stairwell is amazing just from the standpoint that you see Nicolas Cage go through his entire character in this like one scene.
Yeah.
Because he's sitting her down, he's trying to get the information, he's still playing the good detective right now. And the second she names Dunne, he starts losing his mind and goes back to that dirty cop, and where he's intimidating a witness. You didn't see this. You know, your glasses fell off. This this must have happened. This happened. And then when she's like, he recognizes what he's done.
Yeah.
He has intimidated the witness. She's terrified. He's like, oh yeah, you're right. My glasses fell off and I couldn't see anything. I don't know what I'm talking about. And he's like, no, your glasses came off. Like, it's just such a brilliant piece of acting by both of them. And it's so well paced out and drawn out. And they just really did a good job with this scene.
Oh, absolutely.
And for as crazy as Nick Cage is, especially during this time period of film, he really reins it in here. Mm-hmm. Because this could have went off the walls and just been like, oh my God, Nick, what are you doing?
You were correct.
This is where we get Dunne explaining what's going on in the arena to Powell. And Santoro hides Julia in like a warehouse. And then he checks the tape from the floating camera and sees that Dunne was involved. And as he's watching the tape, Dunne comes in, admits he was involved. They argue as Dunne justifies his actions. He asks Santoro where Julia is, and for him to look the other way. And he'll give him $1 million. Like, he starts at like, I don't know what, 250, $500,000. Mm-hmm. And then he's just like, fine, $1 million to look the other way. And this is like where Santoro's like, no, I got to do the right thing because pride and stuff. And I want to be a good cop or whatever the hell.
I would have done the right thing here if I'm in Santoro's shoes, just from the standpoint, like, dude, you're my boy. And like you said, you played me for a sucker. You know I'm a piece of shit. If you had came to me before and been like, hey, man, can't tell you what's going down, but some shit's going down. It's for the betterment, blah, 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 blah. My whole speech, soldiers, right? Cool. There's a good chance I'll take 300,000. There's a good chance I'll take 100,000.
Yeah.
And I'll play the patsy. But for you to fucking play me and then you come in and just talk to me like I'm a fucking piece of shit, even if I am? Nah, bro. I ain't taking your fuck you. I'm done. Out of spite. Of spite.
I go the opposite way. And I'm going to do this.
Don't do that. It's not good for you.
Hi, do-gooders, who kind of used to be a piece of shit. Now you're a do-gooder because stuffing things. You're in this situation and you are Rick Santoro, right? And your best friend, your childhood friend, comes to you during your investigation, is like, hey, look the other way. Here's $1 million. Okay? And maybe it's because I'm in the back nine of my life. I don't know. But $1 million gets me to the finish line at this point. Okay? So I'll be like, oh, there's just some half-blind lady who I'm trying to protect for what reason? He's killing everybody. Like, we're boys. Sure, you lied to me. Big deal. You know what? I'll help you track her down. Matter of fact, I put her over here. Give me the mill right now, and we're good to go, man. Done and done. I saw nothing. I turn into Sergeant Schultz. I know nothing. I saw nothing. I'm looking the other way. He's not asking you to do anything. He's just asking you to go, oh, look at that interesting thing over there, and walk away. That's it. That's worth a cool mill to me. Just saying.
Yeah, in my mind, I'm never seeing that million. I'm just going to be another dead body. So fuck you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of this movie, he's probably going to be another dead body anyway.
Yeah.
So
true.
Who gives a shit, right?
I did like the scene, however. There's two things in this. When in Gary Sinise's confession here, and he's going on about the soldiers. The natural question for me as Rick would have been, okay, how much money did you take? If it's all about the soldiers, that's cool. How much money did you make personally off of this? Because if the answer is $1, you're so full of shit and you still can't fucking tell me the truth. But they never have that conversation, which pisses me off.
Yeah.
And two, I love how Gary Sinise sets it up. And this is the play he should have made in the beginning was, dude, you got a wife. You got a girlfriend. You're a dirty cop. You playing the hero does not end well.
Mm-hmm.
That was brilliant. And how they bring that back around at the end is what makes this one of my favorite movies, just because it's so accurate.
And knowing who you are, you got to be self-aware. Knowing who you are, you can't all of a sudden be a do-gooder. It doesn't end well for you. Take the money and run, man. Instead, Sinise has Tyler beat the shit out of Santoro here in like a back room. And then he plants a tracker on Santoro, follows him to the warehouse just as Hurricane Jezebel strikes the Atlantic City coastline. And the tidal wave hits as the cops show up. Santoro opens the doors and the cops are there to see Dunne. Dunne realizes he's fucked, so he shoots himself in the chest, killing himself. This was the other thing. I was like, in the chest? That's what we're doing here? What is this, O? Why?
He just watched O.
He was like, that's a great idea. Bang! What are we doing here, guys?
That was a weird way to go about it, for sure. Weird way to go about it.
I had to rewind it because I forgot. I knew that Sinise killed himself, but I forgot that he shot himself in the chest. And I was like, that's odd. Did he do that? Or I thought maybe one of the cops shot him.
Yeah.
Or whatever, because he was trying to like walk away. And then when I rewound it and watch it again, you see his arm come up. Like you don't see the gun. You see it it's like the shot from the back. And then you see him do the thing. And I was like, that's kind of a weird way to kill yourself. It was an interesting decision.
Yeah, I would like to know from anybody that's ever been in an actual movie before, why do they make that choice as opposed to going up here?
Yeah.
Is it an effects thing? Can you just not get the angle right? Is it a totally different, so much more in your budget? Is it just so unbelievably dangerous to do that with a prop gun anymore that you don't want a big actor to do that to himself? I don't know. I really would like to know, because it's a super weird choice that we're seeing an awful lot in these movies, and I don't understand why.
Yeah. Well, and the rules back then, as far as like the union went, there really weren't a whole lot. I mean, we talked to Eduardo Sanchez about like the rules back then. He's like, there weren't a ton of rules until, more recently. So, I mean, back then they were like, literally, we're going to shoot you in the head. Like that, they were one step away, the directors, from actually just like killing people on set. But so that was always like, now looking back at these movies, I'm like, again, interesting choice. Why did they do it? I'd love to know why.
Yeah.
Because it would have made for a better scene if he shoots himself in the head or in the mouth or whatever.
Yep. 100%. I just once in one of these movies, I would like to see a situation where like he goes to put the gun up to his head and then somebody else like shoots him in the elbow and they're like, you're not getting fucking away with it that easy.
Yeah.
Like, because that is worse for that guy than death.
Yeah.
The dishonor, like death before dishonor thing, is very real for a lot of people that wear a uniform. So to have him go through that dishonor would have been such a more gratifying punishment.
Oh, absolutely. So after this, we cut to Santoro. It's like the montage of him getting an award from the mayor of Atlantic City, and then the press uncovering his corruption and him being dirty. He loses his job. He loses his wife. He loses custody of his son. He gets arrested. He's convicted and sentenced to prison. And before going to prison, Santoro meets Julia on the boardwalk. They talk a little bit. They kiss. And Santoro promises to call her when his sentence is up in 12 to 18 months. And the movie ends with my don't do that from earlier. Okay? It ends with the audience being left with one lesson. When someone offers you $1 million to look the other way, just take the cash. If you already know you're dirty and you're a piece of shit, this montage at the end of it literally one of my favorite, and I know we make fun of montages here all the time. This is literally one of my favorite montages of like the rise and fall in literally what, a 2-minute montage?
If that.
Yeah, it's like award, everything's great, and he's like, yeah. And then everything, the downfall of him and him driving away in the car, like everything that Sinise said would happen happens in this montage. And it's fantastic.
Yep. This was the most accurate part of the movie.
Yes,
period.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this was the one part, is ridiculous as a lot of this stuff is, and the setup and the reasoning and the yada yada. This end piece is my favorite. Like the last 5 minutes of this is my favorite part of the whole movie. But this movie was so good, especially back in the day when I saw this at the theater, because it gets right to the thing. Like, we're right in. You get the newscast at the beginning, and then I like all the little pieces. His buddy, who's like the fight announcer guy, and he's like, I want to be a real journalist. So he's giving him money so he can get the exclusive. And I mean, it gets right into the action quick, and it doesn't stop all the way through. That's what I love about this movie.
No, it really is. You know, there are silly parts to it, but overall, this movie's just it's a solid whodunit. I think personally they reveal Gary Sinise a little too early. It would have been better to have the mystery guy behind all of this for a little bit longer. But overall, I mean, this movie's just a solid, whodunit kind of movie. There's nothing wrong with it. I think the first-person POV shots were really innovative for this time.
Yeah,
and I thought they were really a good way to depict what everybody else was seeing at the time as they were recounting their story.
Yeah,
and I appreciate this movie for what it is, because there aren't enough flaws in it to make it anything else. You know what I mean? It's just it's a good, solid, fun movie to watch.
Yeah.
Your parents will probably love it. Like, this is one of those, that's one of those, again, safe movies. There's some bullshit involved, but there's nothing really over the top.
No, there's one scene where it's Tyler, so it's his POV, and it's the lawyer talking to the bookie, and they're literally in the middle of like 200 people in the back room, and they're like, and he's gonna take a dive, and I'm like, dude, you're not having that conversation around 2 people, let alone a room full of, let's call it what it is, cokeheads that are out all partying before the fight. Like
Yeah.
that one scene, I was like, oh, this is fucking ridiculous.
Well, especially when the bookie's like, hey, there's a lot of action going against Tyler. What do I need to know? Nothing, you stupid shit. You're a bookie.
You're a bookie. Get the fuck out of my face.
Shut the fuck up and put money against Tyler like everyone else is doing.
Yep.
That's what bookies do. They keep their mouths shut and they put their money where the majority of the money's going.
Yep. That's
Duh.
it. That's it. But yeah, I mean, dude, other than that one scene, again, there's a little fuckery going on in this movie, but it's action packed. There's a lot of great acting in it. Nicolas Cage is like at the beginning of this movie, he is like peak, yeah, Nicolas Cage.
Mhm.
And then as the movie goes on, he kind of reels it in.
Well, yeah, because his coke high's wearing off.
So, I got nothing else, man. This movie's awesome. I still love it. If I ever stumble across it, if I'm on a streaming service, or God forbid I don't have cable, but if I'm on, one of these streaming services that have all the channels and like it's on TBS or whatever, sure, I'll join in and watch. I enjoy this movie regardless of the situation.
Oh yeah, no, it's a good, easy movie. It doesn't leave you feeling a weird way like 8mm. It
Yes.
doesn't leave you feeling like, what the fuck happened in Face Off?
Yep.
There are just so many different. It doesn't leave you with like nausea and then want to never drink again, like leaving Las Vegas. Like it's just a good, solid film.
Yep.
There's nothing too good about it. There's nothing too bad about it. It's just right down the middle.
Absolutely. Well, with that, I guess we'll end it there. But for Corey, I'm Armando. This is Kiss the Reviews, and this was 1998's Snake Eyes. Or as the cover says,
Data.
Cage Snake Eyes. I never understood that. Like,
No.
you can't, it's not like Snake Eyes, like Nicolas Cage in Snake Eyes. It's Cage Snake Eyes.
Right. Like I think you left out a D. Do you mean Cage Snake Eyes?